welcome back to our Galactic History. This is part 17. I want to thank David Waterfall for stepping in yesterday and doing several segments that are absolutely wonderful, powerful segments. And I was able to watch one of them, and it's just got some tremendous information.
Right.
Very practical stuff. Today is June 24th. We are still at Mount Shasta at the
Stuart
Mineral Springs Lodge, right?
Did you get yourself a soak?
Yes, I did. Sulfur bath. Yes, I did. And I ended up having a little too much of a soak on certain parts of my body. Got too much soak. So yes, I've recovered from that already. And we're talking. My name's Lance White, as you know. And as you must know by now, this is Andrew Bartzis, and welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's been an outstanding interview, and thank you, David, too.
Yeah. So today we decided to go into a subject that probably everybody is curious about, and a lot of people have more information about, and that is the pyramids.
Oh, good subject.
Yes, let's start with the basics. That I'm just going to pretend like I know nothing about them.
Okay.
First of all, how old are the pyramids? When were they built? And
foundations of Earth. When Earth became its first seventh dimensional galactic sleep planet, the first set of pyramids came from other worlds and landed on Earth right after she had formed her planet and made her an energy body. Those pyramids landed on her brand new energy grid surface from being a freshly born planet, and they melded with that, and the consciousness of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other worlds focused into the polyhedron, tetrahedron, dodecahedron energy field above each pyramid grid, and put their consciousness into Earth and raised it all of its dimensions and finished its energy birthing process till it was a seventh dimensional seed planet with all the finished consciousness that it needed. So that's the first layer of pyramids that created.
Wow.
Second, third, and fourth consciousnesses who were, we'll just say, other planets that were there to immediately bring immigration life force to the planet. So right away people can say, that's my spot, put up a for sale sign, I got all this space over here if you want to come in.
Right.
Okay, they open the planet up, so trillions of entities born into Earth, and we're the first consciousness exploration group of Earth, but they weren't from Earth itself. She had not spawned her first. This is the first consciousness that comes to a planet. Well, they came here, experienced the energy of recreation, regeneration, and then the first opening of the womb chakras. And these are a band of chakras around the equator that go above and below the equator and above and below the equator all throughout there. And then there's peaks at the North Pole, the South Pole, and spread all over the islands near volcanoes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And these womb chakras opened up and blossomed the first species of Earth. New pyramid grids were then brought into these womb chakra areas and built around them in a circle, semicircle, square, or a type of sacred geometry, which would amplify the energy of those womb chakras into consciousness exploring energy for those people that lived around there. In Syria, in Israel, why there's war there all the time is because those consciousness expanding devices are becoming active again. And they need to suppress that. They need to suppress the awakening of the womb chakra. The pyramid's whole purpose is to take the energy of friction and vibration in a crustal plate and then convert that energy through vibration into free available consciousness expansion energy to those that live within a certain vicinity of the pyramids.
Okay, when you say three types of consciousness, or
any type of it's like free energy, but it's free consciousness energy.
Oh, free consciousness energy.
Right. It's to constantly put you in a raised energy system, so that you're expanding your understanding. You're always in a knowledge and seeking state. Well, not always. You're in a knowledge and seeking state within a limited amount of energy, the ability to be in no time, the ability to multifunction, multidimensional. So you have all the energy that's required to do whatever the consciousness exploration craft it is that you're doing.
Okay. then the pyramids are really, technically speaking, the pyramids came in with the creation of Earth, so they're at least as old as the Earth, which would be
Correct.
7+ billion years.
Correct.
Okay. Did they look like
They were metal first.
They were metal.
They were metals first.
Were they ships?
No, they were ships, yes, but they could also put out a flash of energy, so anything that was in this area could be dimensionally transported anywhere in the universe.
Wow.
There were also people mover exchange systems, commerce systems, everything functioned through them because the consciousness of the planet was supplying the energy that's needed to do the data calculations to transfer from this planet to that galaxy over there.
And so then the womb chakras on the Earth would then produce the templates for new life, and then it would be seeded. And would it go through the pyramids, or just?
It could go the people that live around the womb chakras, they become DNA artists.
Oh.
The master plant people.
Oh.
They grow stuff too, and they literally prepare fresh plants, fresh trees to be inserted into that new reality and to be spread and to be propagated. So they do have nurseries. So Earth is a galactic nursery in another layer. When that stuff comes to fruition, you're ready to bring it to a blank planet. You can transport it direct from where it is, and then instantaneously the surface area with dirt is overlaid on top of that fresh planet, bonded to it energetically, and then all the other local realities are patched in around that. So until they totally patch up the planet with local realities, then the planet itself's consciousness absorbs all that and removes the stitching system.
Wow.
And therefore it is a complete planet.
Wow.
With DNA records that have been sent there from Earth. So there's a long list of stuff people can choose to be whatever they want.
Wow. Now, much of that has been corrupted over the
Correct.
millions of years. Okay, so, and we've talked a lot about that. So the original pyramids functioned as they were supposed to for millions of years.
Millions and millions of
Billions
years.
or billions
The
of years.
stone pyramids we have today
Right.
are recreations of those.
Ah.
Because there were species here that tried to make another seventh dimensional galactic seed planet. It required the consciousness of thousands of stars to get Earth to even attempt at it. And there were other people that tried to become the first seventh dimensional seed planet. Many of them just were never able to get there. It's just the requirement of soul families on the scale of trillions to be able to get it done. I mean, that consciousness ultimately knew that the gift Earth was giving the universe, as well as on a karmic level. I mean, it's been corrupted, but it is the best planet to do it.
Wow. And so the densification process, which has taken us down to lower third, has really limited Earth's ability to do what it was.
Correct.
Yeah, its intention, and then Prime Creator is in the process.
Screwing the management up.
Right. Which
Pink slips.
Yes, and all of that is coming down now. So these original thousands of beings that came through the first pyramid set, they were all from different galaxies, and
They were all from this galaxy.
Okay.
But they had ultimately immigrated from another universe or from another universe to another galaxy to get there. They were summoned from the 17 universes. Were all given a call to come there, and whatever they could bring there resource-wise so that project could succeed.
Okay. And then, is it true that each entity or being that comes into the planet has to have been stepped down through the various stages?
Correct.
They have to pick up the codes of the solar codes
To get there.
and each planetary code in the universe in which they're going.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm guessing that the original inhabitants of Earth in the billions of years ago were non-corporeal. That is, they were
both.
both. Okay.
They were
All right.
multidimensional.
Okay, and none of them were Earth people, right? Because there
All
was
came
no
from
such thing as an Earth person.
Exactly.
There's just a planet. There's okay.
That supports any consciousness life existing there as long as it's in agreement to create biological resources to seed a whole new galaxy.
Okay.
That's their contract. To be farmers, to be healers, to bring that is everything that's needed to bring the prized trees. I mean, trees are rare now. And we throw them away here. Because trees are consciousness.
Ah, yes,
Okay.
yes.
We're modifying that planet by bringing tree consciousness, plant consciousness, stone consciousness, human consciousness, or dogs and cats, and all that stuff adds to the whole communion of nature there.
And then
The
part
microorganisms.
right, everything, the bacteria and
Yeah.
so on. So what's happened when, as we become cut off from source through baptism and vaccinations and so on, and mind and the etheric satellites and the rest of it, we lose touch with the truth, which is that the trees are sentient beings.
Correct.
Everything is sentient.
Sentience.
It all has a guiding spiritual life force.
Mhm.
And so, through the process of converting us into a materialistic society, moving us away from the true value of energy,
You're getting it.
we get screwed because then, what's a tree? Yeah, cut it down. But the tree may be screaming, and there may be divas and elementals that are just furious because you just cut down their city.
Yeah.
New York fell.
Yeah.
You know.
We 9/11 them.
Yeah, and people just have no clue. Walking down a sidewalk and tossing cigarettes down and whatever, just even little gestures that are unconscious because we have lost our connection to the unity of all life and the spirit of all life. And that seems to be something that light workers and many others and spiritual people, some religious people, are working on reconnecting with a source, meaning your own source,
Your own
you,
source.
and it's within.
Correct.
And then once you do that, you recognize the value of life of in yourself, and it's reflected like a mirror in everyone around you. And so, so I'm getting sidetracked. I'm going off on a tangent, but okay.
Human Handbook, line 19. Tangents. Section 19. How to deal with tangents.
Right. When do we get our handbook? Well, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. We're
That's
doing
it.
the handbook right now, and everybody who comes along and talks to you, this is okay. So. All right, so for billions of years there were the metallic pyramids. What else existed on the planet? What did these beings create?
They created other sacred geometry systems out of crystal, out of metals, out of even they would weave specific trees to grow in a pattern to make a dome of consciousness.
Ooh. Air cities?
Air cities within those domes of trees because they were creating their own reality.
Yeah, wow.
And when they were able to get trees to be massive and to intertwine into an air city consciousness, they bonded with the earth, bonded with the trees, and could go out and use the spiritual commerce that I talked about in the episode with David Waterfall, that those trees would say, hey, they're giving everything that we want here, come and live here, and you're going to be going to a new planet, and the elder tree spirits would recruit those people that wanted to be trees on worlds.
And those are actual people.
They are actual people.
Right. So as far as the incarnational process goes, is there a linear, some people have suggested that you start as a plant lab and then you become an animal.
It's all about your soul codes and your personal choice.
Okay, so any soul could incarnate as an tree,
ant, a tree,
and
a dog,
to have the experience. In fact, in your readings yesterday, you had one lady who had come back as a cat in Florida many times.
Yeah, was tired of living.
Yeah,
and tired of living.
Those were fascinating readings, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just mind-blowing information that it makes television and movies look like rotten potatoes.
Thank you.
really, and it's the truth, and that's what makes it so beautiful. Is it resonates within the mind of the heart, which is what you and David were talking about yesterday. That's so important to intuitively understand the truth. And that's how we get it. We don't have to, oh, wait a minute, I got to look this up in the encyclopedia, the Galactic Encyclopedia,
Exactly.
which nobody's written yet, or if they have, they're hiding in the Vatican or someplace.
With multiple fake copies that are altered.
Yeah.
You'll never know what's the real one.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Then eventually, in those billions of years, there were first. Was there a first indigenous? Okay, this is where it gets tricky because you've got the timeline wars.
Right.
But was there actually a first human, quote unquote, species that was created here as a result of all these?
Yes.
Okay.
That represents the second layer of pyramid grids.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
The first layer of pyramid grids was the fresh consciousness that came to Earth. There was no first Earth species. So for many billions of years, Earth was this hub center spreading life to multiple galaxies. Another galaxy called the War Galaxy found its consciousness exploration and made people to go across the void and find out what was over there as a scouting mission. That scouting mission came through, and the first thing it saw was this giant seventh dimensional planet with no defenses, spreading DNA wisdom absolutely everywhere.
Wow.
They looked back, and all of a sudden over there, the troops lined up. The Galactic Prime Creator over there said, "Go ahead, it's a go." The other two creators over here said, "Okay, it's a go." And the war came in, and there were no defenses. They captured Earth and made a second pyramid grid to prevent them from reincarnating back into the planet.
Wow.
That's the first fortification.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay, and so that's 3 prime creators.
That agreed on that would happen.
Okay, now is there any relation between those 3 prime creators and the 15 beings?
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, 15 beings didn't
That's-
even know about Earth yet.
Okay,
honestly.
so this comes much
Okay.
later. All right.
Drama 1.
Wow. Okay, so the prime creators, but
Agreed.
not our,
Not this Galactic Prime Creator we're in.
Okay, so where was that prime creator when these other 3 were planning on destroying?
Their war was nurtured in that galaxy to see what would happen.
Oh well, don't you know?
They,
I mean,
they
hello.
didn't know. And
Oh,
it's
they
a free
didn't
will
know.
universe. They didn't know.
They didn't know what war would do.
No, it had never been done.
Okay.
That's how early this was.
Wow. Wow. And is that where they developed technology and clones and robotics and
No.
No, okay.
Sentience used physical bodies, but representations that they brought with them from other universes.
And how did they travel?
Sentiently.
Okay, so this was all before technological,
right concepts even were
Right.
reintroduced to the system.
because they didn't need it.
No.
Just like originally we were fully telepathic and able to create and
Correct.
okay. Okay, good.
So of all those trillion beings that were on Earth before it was captured, everything that we are going through now is a reflection of those original beings trying to get back in. Those trillions that formed Earth, the
Right.
pyramids, their energy went into the consciousness of the
Right,
pyramids.
right,
Those people, once their planet was captured,
right.
began trying to mass incarnate into it over and over and over again. In each layer, they'd gain the world back, they'd lose it. They gain the world back, they'd lose it. They gain the world back, they'd lose it. That's the steps that we've been going through. And at each layer, they refortified the planet on an astral level
Mhm,
so nothing else can get in, which gave the archonic grid the ability to take over spiritual courts.
Oh, so who was it that brought in the Archontic?
That
Forces.
would be the second generation of dark entities that secretly incarnated here to take over from within.
And that's the 15.
That's the 15.
Right, okay.
Once they saw the drama start
Right.
and looking at the prime creators going, you know what, I want to be a prime creator. I'm sitting over here chilling, smoking my cigarette, and all of a sudden there's a whole big drama over there. They get in their fast cars,
Yeah.
drive over there and look.
Okay.
And then the other 15 that showed up, and like, hey, this is going to be fun.
Right.
Somebody grabbed the beer and the kegs. We're having a kegger over there.
So it's really as if the kids stole the car keys to the convertible and have been out,
Yes.
partying and creating.
I call them the kids on the coke bench.
Okay, I gotcha.
In the beginning there.
Yeah, but they're very powerful kids.
Yes.
And as a result, they have locked down the incarnational process, which
Right.
no longer allows anyone to graduate or to. Does it allow new beings to come in?
Only if they're lower vibrational.
Lower
to be dominated
vibrational.
and
So
controlled.
that's why we see the degradation of everything, and of course, the imitation of and the reversal of esoteric symbols that are positive get reversed and duplicated in a false way or in a
Correct.
fake way because they can't really create true
Reality.
Right. They can't. So they can only duplicate it, fake it, twist it around, and turn
Exactly.
it backwards and
And
upside
confuse
down.
you.
Yeah.
Take your memory away.
Yeah. Add more fine print to your contract to say not allow you to know that you're actually making an agreement when
Exactly.
through unconsciousness we are allowing them to do certain things. And we've been unconscious for so long and enslaved, in a sense, enslaved.
Yep.
Our free will has been, shall we say, usurped.
Mhm.
That we've forgotten that we have free will. So when we start talking about free will as if we have it, we both have it and we do not have it. We have to regain it.
Mhm.
We have to understand what we had and don't have in order to take back what we truly have authentically and can claim as our own.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so you covered the first pyramid grid.
Okay. The second pyramid grid was the refortification process.
Okay.
This is the first layer of stone pyramids.
Oh.
They
Okay.
were duplicated by the capturing force, the dark entities that were able to get in here
Right.
and easy.
Pre-15 beings.
Pre-15
Yeah, okay,
beings.
gotcha.
They're like, party.
Yeah.
Well, when they were done partying, they said, look at this technology. We need it. We want to send it back to our galaxy, recreate it. Well, the light beings who were here were so disorganized, didn't know how to fight, and had to learn really fast. They called in other entities, mercenary units, we'll simply call them that. They're
Okay.
consciousness expansioning mercenaries who would travel to the war galaxy to figure out what it was.
Okay.
So they kind of knew.
Right.
They came in and started training different light beings, which would be angels. This would be like second, third, fourth generation of our universe. Made angels, and then they made support species for them.
Okay.
Pleiadians, Arcturians, so on and so forth.
Ah.
And those support species' purpose was to make sure there were scouts looking for people that wanted to take on this consciousness challenge that would be a intergalactic drama that would intertwine them into karma for millions of years.
Ah.
Many said yes, because this is a free will universe.
Right.
I want to know.
Right. No. Also,
Flood began.
and okay, and then not knowing that they may not be able to leave for millions of years, not
Correct.
understanding what was coming, and they may not have had the capacity to look into the future at that point.
But because there was not a time concept for Earth at that moment.
Okay.
So therefore, its true consciousness was revolving around a galactic center, but it was teleported to another galactic center, and then teleported to another galactic center, and then teleported to another galactic center. So it literally made it 7 dimensions of times from 7 galaxies. So it literally could function with the prime creator of 7 galaxies to determine how much spiritual commerce that the galaxies wanted to bring into this galactic ascension machine.
Now, were all of those 7 prime creators, were any of them involved with this in kind of a, shall we say, on different sides of the light-dark scenario?
The prime creators are all neutral.
They're neutral, okay.
They're all neutral.
All right.
There are sentients that are 4 to 5 steps below prime creator that take polarity on, because inevitably, even in neutrality, there's a need for polarity to keep the expansion of consciousness going.
But as you reunify, the polarity dissolves.
Correct.
Okay. And at what level does it dissolve? Like
That's hard to
yeah,
describe.
okay.
It
All
just
right,
does.
okay, all right.
It gets to the point where the consciousness doesn't care about the creation of it. It simply is as part of its system.
Okay.
Just like blood flowing through your veins.
Okay. Now, one more question before we go to break, and that is the second refortification was with stone.
With stone.
And in our linear thinking, how many hundreds of thousands of years ago were the first stone pyramids created?
6.5, 7.5 million years ago. But there would be a 13 million year. Somebody figured out how to go into the actual invasion process and insert a reality so that a pyramid could be built at 13.5 million years ago. So it's crazy. Wherever you have a first, somebody else wants to make new firsts.
A new first, okay. But the idea that the pyramids might be 10,000 years old.
No, millions.
They're millions of years
Correct.
old. And if I'm not mistaken, one of my wonderful guests, Carmen Bolter, does a lot of work on Egypt and the pyramids. And it was through her that I discovered that the pyramids are not made of organic earth material.
Correct.
So according to some researchers, they were made from material that was not of the earth, partially.
Correct.
And were they formed in, floated in, formed, or?
The original pyramid, Giza is not an original pyramid. Giza
It
is
isn't.
a pyramid built by the Atlanteans in the
Oh.
seventh refunctioning of retasking of the fortification. Every
Okay.
time they made a new layer, they added more pyramids to it with different
Okay.
designs in them.
So the pyramids at Giza might be much less old. Where are the original ones that were made between 6
They
and
would be in the cardinal points of our planet.
so
But our
they're
planet isn't the same size or shape that it was before.
was it expanding?
It was as big as Saturn,
So it's contracting.
contracting.
So rather than having an expanding Earth theory where the crust,
Everything is contracting. That's why they're turning the control rooms down, because they don't want it to be a seventh dimensional planet. They want it to be the lowest possible so they can mass incarnate a species that is low density, so when they turn it up, they get troops that rapidly advance in science and wisdom and technology, and then can go out and attack the universe while they mass incarnate more into them and keep the machine only graduating warriors.
Wow, that's a pretty dire plan.
Correct.
And so that might be a good place for us to leave off, so that you come back for part 18 to find out what's
right.
going to happen in our galactic history in the future. All right, we will take a break.